Today, I want to share with you my attempt at creating and using a second brain system inside of Notion. This system is marrying note-taking and task management inside of one place to better organize your digital life. This system is going to closely resemble the para method, of which consists of 4 different categories: projects, areas, resources, and archive. Components of this template include note-taking, web clipping, projects, tasks, recurring tasks, a master calendar, and an archive. There's going to be an option for 2 templates down below in the description for you guys to duplicate and follow along if you'd like. With that being said, let's just get right into it. I'm going to show you how I would fill something like this out from front to back. So the first thing I would do is I would ignore this home page. And first I would look at the directory and click on areas at the very top, the first button there. Similar to the para system where you have something like health and fitness or content creation, things that aren't actionable, like a project would be actionable. Now projects are going to be nested inside of these areas. So first I want to go ahead and create my first area, which is going to be content creation. Also, I'm going to click this template called New Area. And this is where I'll be able to go in and plug in all of the projects associated with this area, and I can start planning some goals. So firstly, I do have this directory sync block at the top for quick access. I then have a calendar for projects, and let me just open this up as a page and give you a quick rundown. So this calendar for projects is where I can go and I can start assigning deadlines. So let's say for content creation, I want to write an article next Friday that is a list. Maybe I'll go article, a list of Notion extensions. And I want to make it a new project. So I'm going to click this template, and this will give me its own template for a project. You'll notice that the area automatically has connected to content creation. That's because that area template that I clicked creates a filter inside of this calendar that says area contains content creation. And maybe I can drag this over to Wednesday. That's when I want to start writing this article, and I want it published by Friday. Now, if I click inside of here, I can give it a priority tag, in which case I'm going to say this is high priority. Nice. Now, coming down the list here, we have another section for area, and that we are still inside of content creation for recurring tasks. In this section, what I want to do is start adding some recurring tasks that happen weekly or daily that associate with content creation. So there are 2 database views here, one for today and one for all. I'm going to click inside of all and add a new task. So let's say publish or reminder to publish something. And inside of my days drop-down menu, I want to click what days I want to do this. So Tuesday, Thursday, and right now it's Sunday. So I just want to put that in as an example. Now, if I go back up to the today database view, it should populate that I need to publish something today because today is Sunday. Now, clicking inside of this recurring task, there is also a template I could press. It doesn't really do anything. It just gives me a nice icon. Awesome. You'll also notice right below recurring tasks is a portal for projects again. So we have the projects calendar up here and then just a simple list of projects below. Now the reason why I have this in 2 places is because what if I want to create a project that I know I want to complete, but I don't really have a deadline for it yet, and I don't really want to put it inside my calendar right now. Design new social media layouts and leave it here. So if I go up to my calendar, it won't be in my calendar, but it will be down in projects. Below that, I have resources. This is when I go and I clip information. Now this is bringing data into the system. When I go and I use my web clipper, which I'll show you how to do, I'm going to be able to connect certain resources or web clippings and notes to this area, content creation, or to specific projects within it. And then I have some active tasks down at the bottom that's taking all of my projects and all of the tasks that I'm still currently working on or will be working on in the future and just compiling them all at the bottom here. I want to create another project. Let's say the project I'm actually currently doing right now, which is making this video about second brain. So video, second brain in Notion, and that priority will be high. new project. And I'm going to give this an end date, and I'm going to work on it between the 30th and today, the 1st of August. I can go and break this project down into simpler, more manageable bits or tasks. So down here at the bottom of a new project page, you're going to have that directory link for quick access. I have a little ellipses here to indicate where you can start typing. So for instance, if I am writing a script for the video, I would want to write it inside of this page. Toggling down this info toggle, I have a few things here. So active tasks. This is where I'm going to break down this project. So the first task for this project is going to be find the basic principles of para. Priority medium, and I can also do something like map out the system with a flowchart. This priority would be rather high. You'll see that my tasks have adjusted. All my high priority is at the top and low priority at the bottom. What I can also do is there is a template for each task that essentially gives me that directory synced block again that will be on every page, and my next actions, which takes all of my tasks attached to a common project. So you'll see all of my tasks for Second Brain video inside of Notion. And then when I'm done, I can check through the list and see what my progress is for the whole project within one single task page. I'm going to go back and assign this template to every one of these tasks. So now that I've broken down this project into all its tasks, I'm going to hide this and go back to the content creation area that it's connected to. And you'll notice that my video Second Brain in Notion is now in my calendar. I have a recurring task up here. I have all my projects associated, which by the way, when I'm done with a project, it will remain inside of this project hub, but when I go to archive it, it will disappear. And that's just a nice way to keep down on the clutter. So now you'll see the active tasks have populated inside the bottom of this area. So this is going to take all the tasks from all of my projects that are not yet finished and slide them right under here. If I were to press done, it would disappear into another database view called done. So let's click done on some of these and go back to that video project that all of those tasks are associated with. You'll notice that a progress bar starts ticking up. And again, if I toggle down info, I can also see all of my active tasks. You also notice down in project pages that there are similar projects you can look through. So just like going through those next actions inside of a single task, I can go through next or similar projects. All of these projects share a common area. Now, what I really like about creating these similar projects, similar tasks, not only can I navigate to the next thing I need to do, but I can also reference back. So going back to my content creation area, down at the bottom, there is a toggle for latest archive. So instead of having to navigate to an archive page, which I do have, I'll be able to see all recently archived projects and resources connected to content creation. Now what I want to do is go find some resources from the web to help me complete the projects. So I do have one saved here, an article explaining the second brain. Now what I can do using an extension called Save to Notion, which I'll leave a link to down below, I can save content from the web. So I'm going to select my extension on Chrome to save to Notion. I have two different forms here that I've created. One is called Resources Link and another is called Resources Full. Resources Link is just going to grab the link from the article. The full is going to grab the content of the page. So I'm going to click link. So I have the title up here of the article. It's not necessarily important. The area is going to be content creation, and the project is very specifically that video for Second Brain in Notion. I could also put in other projects inside of this. I can also create a new project in here. I can also select a read status. So I have 4 read statuses for my resources. For this one, I'm going to select note and add new page. Now that that's added, I can start selecting bits and pieces of this article to send over. Maybe I want to send over this paragraph. I'm going to right click and go to add highlight, which is part of that Save to Notion extension. Add highlight, and it should be saved to the body of that resource. You'll see that one resource has been added. If I come down the page here to resources, you'll also see it populate under resources. And if I open it up, you'll see that one paragraph I highlighted. Maybe I want to highlight another one. Add highlight, and that will highlight as well in the form of a bullet point. And you'll also see that this resource connects not only to content creation, but also to that video. If I click inside of that video, this project inside of info will also have that resource populated inside of it. Now let's say I am particularly happy about this resource and I want to share it with other people in my community on Twitter. I can press the to share button. I can also share projects. So when I'm done with this video, I will want to share it. So I'm also going to press to share. If I go into the directory and go to the very last link called Allotment, this will be where all of the information that I want to share will collect. And you'll see that that video under projects I want to share shows up, and then building a second brain article. I can press the shared checkbox and it will disappear into another view called shared. Besides that, let's go back to the area. You'll see that now that I'm inside this area's page that the projects have now populated. These are all the projects in my entire system. They're going to collect here just as long as the project is not archived. Let's create a new area. I'm going to call this one Ancestry Research. Now something like Ancestry Research, there is technically an end in sight. However, it is such an ongoing process and there's always new information coming up. So I am going to create an area here because it's going to have a lot of projects inside of it. And if you are faced with an area that is archivable, like Ancestry Research, I do have an archive checkbox, so you can send that over to an archive page. I'm going to press new area here and give this projects as well. Maybe next week I want to start researching, we do research phase 2, and the priority, it's medium. In fact, I might make it low because there are other things I need to do that are a lot more important than this hobby. So I'm going to give this an end date of the 8th. I just want to work on it generally through the whole week and select new project. Let's make another one maybe called Research Phase 3. Also low priority. And maybe bring this down. There we go. Again, the projects are showing up in the project section here as well. And maybe add one more project that is Finish Notion Hub. This one is definitely more important. And coming down to everything else, we don't really have to fill anything else out. When you go into an area, just start planning all of your projects, start breaking those projects into tasks, and get to work. Start finding resources and start making it happen. That's kind of how I want all this to be set up, to just get right to what is actionable. I'm going to start gathering some resources to help me finish both of these projects. Maybe I want to find a reference for a list of immigrant records to help me research. And I've just got a long list of links here, which is great. I want to save this over as a reference. Let's bring my form here and the one that says resources full because I want to bring over the entire contents of this page. I would say that this one is important because I am going to use it a lot. And the area, of course, Ancestry Research now. And the project, well, I'm probably going to use this for a ton of different projects within this area. So I'm going to leave this one empty and just have it attached to the area and make sure my read status is reference. Let's add that page. You'll see that immigrant records has showed up. I am inside the Ancestry Research area. And the contents of the page. So going back, maybe there's something else that I want to save, like maybe an article about the 1850s. Again, like I did before, I'm just going to save the resources link, just like I did with that second brain article. And for this one, I'm thinking save to Ancestry Research, a very specific project this one is attached to, which is Research Phase 2, 1650 to 1850. And read status is note. Just want to grab over some notes. Maybe what was going on with science and technology at the time, highlight that and add highlight, and maybe some of this other stuff as well. So now I have two resources here. You'll notice that this resource hub inside of Ancestry Research, this area, is not only taking everything only attached to the area, but also to all the projects within the area. There is a special filter I have here in order to make this work. Nice, let's get one more for these projects. Maybe there is another page about a very specific person that I started finding a lot of information about. And I suddenly have an idea for another project. So let's say I have a new idea for a project with this page. I'm going to go to Resources Full. I want to save the entirety of this page and go to Area, Ancestry Research, and actually create a new project. So let's say New Story Section. Create that. I'm going to give it a tag. Maybe I have already read it. I just want to send it over. So we have 4 resources attached to Ancestry Research. Now, if I go to a project, let's say Phase 2, go down to Info, I'll also see all of the resources attached to this specific project, which right now I only have one. But there is another drop-down menu that says Area Resources that will just collect everything that is populating inside of the area this project is in. Again, quick access. I really like that. Now, what about that new project that we just created? Where did that go? Well, it didn't go inside of Ancestry Research, but if I go to the Areas page, it does show up down here in all of the projects that are accumulated for all of the areas. So you'll see that new story section here, and I can go ahead and start assigning an area to it, like Ancestry Research, maybe a deadline or a work time, priority, and so on. You can also save tweets. So let's say there's a tweet over here, and I can bring up my form again. Go to Resources Full if I want to save the actual body, the actual embed of the tweet. Change this name to New Synced Block Update. Make sure the area is content creation and a new project. Maybe I want to do an article about the new Synced Block Update. Create. Read status is maybe to read or done. And add. There we go. Now if I go back to areas inside the directory, I'll be able to see the new article, new synced block update. Give this guy an area to content creation, work time, priority, and kind of just keep going. I mean, of course, inside of this article, new synced block update, inside of that info toggle, inside of resources, that tweet will appear right down in the body of the page. So whenever you're inside of a resource, the immediate parent page, directory, assets. Inside of assets, this is where all of the resources are, and you'll be able to navigate through everything. See, I have one section at the top for active resources, another for inactive resources, and a third for shareable resources. Active resources are resources that are actively connected to a project. Inactive just means they're only attached to the area. So remember when we had that immigrations record sent over, I only selected the area because I wanted to use it for multiple projects. That would technically be called an inactive resource. I can search through active resources in this search bar. Look for new or Slocum. I can look for whatever I want through there. I can also create a very special filter that will give me maybe all read status being done, to share being clicked, certain projects it's attached to through the filter. And down here at the bottom, there is shareable resources. Also, this resource page is going to get long quick. So what I did inside of each section was made sure inside of properties that show on first load just says 25 pages. If you want to see absolutely every single resource, regardless of active status, you can go into the resources main database and just go down the list. Part of this directory that we haven't looked at, which is action and archive. So let's look at action first. So here in the action page, I'm just going to zoom out to its appropriate zoom. At the very top, I have the directory. So this is that directory synced block again. Also, I have projects. These are all the projects across all the areas. And I have this sorted by, well, I have different database views. One is for active projects, and that's just simply a filter that says done is not checked. And then one for ones that are finished. Below that, I have a toggle for next action. So this is created with all of the tasks from all across the system, regardless of area. You'll see here ones for Ancestry, all of these for content creation. And actually, I'm in the done database view. Let me go to the active tasks. So just like up above with the projects, we have active tasks and done. The last link I haven't showed you yet is archive. It's just everything that has been archived in one place. So what we have here is 3 different linked databases, one to projects, so all projects that have been archived, all resources that have been archived, and all areas that have been archived. So I may want to go back through the archives and find some older stuff that I want to resurface. Now let's go into the home page and I'll show you how everything works there. As you're going through the areas and filling in projects, filling in tasks, everything on this front page is going to start updating. At the very top, I have the recurring tasks that have accumulated through all those areas. Actually, let's zoom to an appropriate zoom. So these recurring tasks will show me all the tasks I have to do today, which in this case is a reminder to publish something, and I can press done when I'm done. And then all recurring tasks here to take a look at everything I have to do in general. And I can also, without going into a specific area, just add a recurring task here and attach it to an area. I also have a section for quick add note. This is where you can quickly add a note to your resources without going and web clipping anything. So I can quickly add a new note, attach it to an area. I could also bring down these hidden properties and attach it to a project, and it will show up in notes added today. All other notes added today will also go inside of this database view. And I also have another database view that just says the latest 10 resources. Now we come down to the very bottom here, which is the last bit of this system. I really wanted to make sure when it came to dates and projects that there was a place for a master calendar without doing too much work around. So you'll see a project for content creation and also projects for Ancestry Research, all within the same calendar. So you can quickly navigate through that. Also, you can add new things through this calendar, new project, and assign it an area from here. You don't have to go through that area link. This is pretty much the extent of how I would go about creating a second brain in Notion. Hope you guys liked it. Let's go right into the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed this little walkthrough and the template down below. Let me know if you've already built a second brain inside of Notion and how that's working for you. I would love to know down below. Also, I'm going to leave some information for where to follow me on social media and also my blog that is all about Notion and the functionality of Notion. So if you want to learn more about Notion and how something like this is made, you guys can go over to my website and look around if you'd like. I'll see you guys the rest of the week on Twitter and next week with a new video. I'll see you then.